Hello and welcome to another Arkeys video, and this time we're having a look at this week's Daily Race B, where we are racing Group 4 cars at Road Atlanta, and we are doing 5 laps, so a fairly short race as it usually is in Race B. I am on the American servers. This is Tuesday morning, Central European time, so this is the remainers of Monday night at the American servers. You can see the West Coast might still be up, but the lobbies are starting to fade a bit. However, we still have some A+ drivers in this one, and this is my first 2 races on this combo. Let's get straight into this one. So in this first race, I was starting from the back, mainly to avoid any shenanigans through the first twisty sector. I did a short warm-up on my EMEA account and set a 125.5, so not really that fast, still trying to get up to speed. But now we're just racing from the back just to see what this feels like, also with fuel on the car and all that stuff. We're coming into turn 1. I'm just being nice and patient. It's not going that particularly fast, but we just have to wait. This is so narrow and not really a place to try anything stupid. So we just hang back here. I lost a bit of momentum coming out of there. We are coming down the hill, and this is where I pick up most of my track limit penalties, as a lot of us do, I suspect, but we make it through nice and safe and probably slow. And I'm just having a look just to see where I'm going. We've got a yellow flag, and it turned out that the Jaguar simply missed his braking point and the 2 cars got tangled into each other. And yeah, the Jaguar apologized. Afterwards, you can see his message pop up there. But that was, and we've got another car turning left into the wall on the straight, and I've picked up a couple of free positions. We're still behind the WRX as we're coming down the straight here, and let's see if I can pick the right braking point for the chicane. Just be careful, don't want to go into the back of anyone. And I've got some room behind me, so all is good for now. And at this point I saw the yellow Ferrari going into the pits, and I was thinking, what is that all about? And then I saw that he was on the intermediate tires, and that simply distracted me so much that I forgot to brake into turn 1. So I am going straight off the track, managing to not spin the car completely around, but all the free positions are basically lost again, at least some of them. So that was a bit of an embarrassing moment for me there. But we are jumping ahead in the race. Now we are at lap 2, and someone has been a bit too heavy on the loud pedal, so we are back up into P11 and we are jumping ahead. And we've got someone off the track at turn 1. And this is looking like it's going to be a scary rejoin. Somehow we managed to get through, both of us, no one picking up penalties, no contact. So I think we both did a good job there. So we are behind the Jaguar. He must definitely be on a controller. I'm on a controller as well, but his inputs certainly seems a bit jerky. And we are coming through these 2 corners. I'm just sticking with him. Maybe I can make a move as we come down the long straight. Make sure I don't miss the apex on this corner. And now it's drag race time. Let's see what we can do. He is defending the inside, so I am moving to the right. And we seem to have a tiny bit of overspeed, but we are in the same car. Not really much I can do. But I just try to brake as late as I dare, and somehow he might have braked early there, but I managed to make a move around the outside. So that actually felt rather good. And we are jumping ahead in the race once again. Now we are at the end of lap 4, and the Jaguar I just overtook, he is gaining on me again, but we managed to keep it going. And as we come into turn 1, if I remember correctly, I'm turning in a bit too early, so I'm nearly thrown off to the left side of the track. We managed to keep it on the track unlike the Jaguar behind me, he goes off the track, ends up in the wall, unfortunately for him. We keep it as steady as possible through the chicane and down through the twisty section here. And can I keep the momentum through this corner? Nah, a bit careful, staying in third gear, just had to keep it on the track. You can do that faster. And now let's get through these two final corners. This one is easier to just find the apex, but here you're coming over a crest and I am missing the apex. I'm braking too late. You have to brake a bit earlier than you think, because your turning point is just as the track goes over a small crest. We are coming through the final chicane. Make sure I don't get all slidey at the exit, and we are across the line, and this is a P10, nothing amazing. If I had stayed on the track, I would have maybe had a P6, 7, something like that. We are continuing with the second race. Now I've set a 25.3 in between those two races, so that's a tiny bit better than my time on the EMEA account when I practiced for this. Since then I have managed to squeeze down to a 25 flat. A lot of my friends on my friends list are into the 24s, so still some work to do. We've got P1, he decided to drop back, a bit scary considering that the first sector is so narrow, but he managed to let both me and the P1 through, and we just carry on. Can I make it around this corner? I'm using third gear up to short shift up to fourth, but still just have to keep the car in check. So now I just have to see if I can keep up with P1. And the driver behind me is actually also on my friends list, and he has improved his time since this as well. And he is hanging on, really keeping me awake here. But the thing with Road Atlanta, and I think that goes for any track, that you just have to consider learning a track sort of a long-term experience. At least that's how it is for me. It's basically the same as when I am trying to learn new stuff on the piano, both stuff already written or trying to learn some new improvising tricks. It really needs some time to settle in. The first time I tried this track was when we had the Mazda touring car race as a race C, and that was a nice way to sort of get to know the track for the first time. Then we had a time trial challenge in the Red Bull X 2019, and that nearly killed me. That still has to be the most annoying time trial we've had so far, at least in my opinion, even more annoying than the Bathurst time trial we are having at the moment, and that says a lot, to be honest. Then we had this exact Group 4 race back in May, since all the dailies this week are copy-paste from that week, and then we had a Group 3 race here in race C. And I remember I gave that one a proper go, really struggled a lot on that, especially coming through the chicane at the top of the hill in Sector 1, and also at the end of Sector 1 not picking up a penalty, and finally getting through the last corner leading onto the back straight. And somehow all the struggles and all the frustrations through the X 2019 time trial challenge and the Group 3 race are coming to a benefit now. Now we are in Group 4. Yeah, I'm almost overcooking it here, going down to third gear. But still, this is my first 2 races of the week, and that considered, it isn't completely terrible. There are still some mistakes coming up. I'm coming in a bit too narrow, and the final corner leading on to the back straight isn't the best either. But when it comes to learning a track, really just remember it's a long-term learning process, like putting together a big puzzle of corners and how the car reacts and where are the bumps and where do you need to do a tiny lift and all that stuff. We are almost sneaking into the 125s in race pace here, and it's basically exactly as when you are trying to learn to play an instrument or anything else that has anything to do with craftsmanship. It doesn't come overnight. Things have to settle in, and We just have to be patient. Suddenly you can find improvement places where you didn't expect it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.